You're watching Imagisport, your home for top-notch sports simulation action.
Hello there and welcome to the Imagisport Showcase. I am Derek Jones. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Today we are going to feature a game that does not get a lot of airtime on the Sports Sims channels that you see on YouTube, and that is Bowl-O-Rama from PLAAY Games. It is a bowling simulation. And today with Bowl-O-Rama, we are going to play out the final round of my project, the 2021 Keystone State Invitational, featuring the fictional bowlers that come with the game when you purchase it from PLAAY.com. So the format for this tournament, I have all 24 bowlers participating in it. We start off with rolling 14 qualifying games for each bowler, using the quick play chart that comes with the game, where one roll of the dice will determine a bowler's final score for a single game. So after the qualifying games are rolled, we take the top 16 bowlers in terms of total pins, and we see them 1 through 16, and then in a March Madness type format, these bowlers are matched up head to head in a best of 3 series to see who goes on then to the second round. In that first round, mind you, only one lower seed advanced. So only one of the top 8 made it into the second round. When we got to the second round, 8 bowlers left. Again, it was best of 3 series to determine winners. The 4 winning bowlers became the first 4 of our 5 finalists, and they got seeded 1 through 4 for this final round based on the average that they rolled throughout this tournament. Then to determine who the 5th bowler would be, I had the 4 losers roll 1 game each, and the highest score wound up being the number 5 seed. At least that's how it was originally planned. Things kind of changed a little bit in that, and more details on that coming up later on in the broadcast today. And so as far as the final round goes, we're going to do it old school, just like they used to do on Saturday afternoons in the 80s when I was growing up on television. The number 5 bowler will take on the number 4 bowler in our first game today. That winner will take on the number 3 seed. The winner of that matchup will take on the number 2. And then finally, that winner will take on the number 1 seed for all the marbles and the Keystone State Invitational title. So now let's go ahead and meet the first 2 bowlers who are going to compete today. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen for that. Our number 5 bowler today is going to be Sonny Wayne, hailing from Muncie, Indiana. Sonny was the number 5 seed going in. He lost in the second round. So he started out as the 13th seed. He defeated the number 4 seed, Ed Dancic, in 3 games in the first round, losing the first game 235 to 175, but then coming back to win the next 2, 251 to 214 and 234 to 211. Then in the second round, he lost to Bill Coral in straight games, 240 to 200 and 226 to 204. So he was in that scramble, which actually involved only 3 bowlers instead of 4. And again, I'll let you know a little bit later as to why that was the case. But Sonny Wayne wound up with a 238 in that roll-off, which was 5 pins ahead of his nearest competitor. So he earned the number 5 seed in this particular tournament. And so he is going to be taking on the number 4 seed, who is my personal favorite bowler of the set. And that is Hub Reifsnyder, who I have nicknamed Hubster from Show Low, Arizona. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention Sonny Wayne's average in his tournament so far is at a 218.8. Now back to the Hubster. He came in as the number 15 seed in the qualifying. He swept Chet Grunberg, the number 2, 240 to 205 and 223 to 208 in the opening round. And then that put him up against Wally Stock, the number 7 seed in the second round. And he swept that one too. 224 to 219 in the first game, 233 to 188 in the second. So the Hubster comes into this match with a 221.4 average. So it's going to be Reif Snyder against Sonny Wayne in our first matchup here today. So let's not waste any more time with that. Let's go down to the Holiday Bowl in Altoona, Pennsylvania for the first game in our final round of the Keystone State Invitational.
All right, so we're just about ready to begin our first match in the final round of the Keystone State Invitational between the 4th seed, Hub Reif Snyder, and the 5th seed, Sonny Wayne. So we're going to go ahead and get things started here. Get your popcorn ready. It is time to knock down some pins. And so the Hubster with his first ball of our first frame, and it's a bad ball 10, and that is going to be an 8 split for the Hubster to start off today. So let's see if he can pick up the difficult spare here. It is going to be normal and a 14 on the 8 split. That is a spare for Reif Snyder. So he recovers from that. And now Sonny Wayne with his first ball in the first frame. It is a normal and an 11, and Sonny Wayne is going to get a strike. So now we'll move on to frame number 2, and Sonny Wayne will roll his second ball, and it's going to be a normal and 9, so he's going to strike in the second as well. So here comes the Hubster with his second ball, or I should say second frame. It's going to be a 17. He's going to get another 8 here. And can he pick up the spare this time? And he will. So he gets the spare on that 8. And now we will move on to frame number 3. Here's the Hubster. And we get a 20 this time, and he gets a 7. So it's a 7 plus. And his second ball is going to be a 7 as well. With a normal roll, he's going to spare that easily as well. Sonny Wayne, 2 strikes so far. And he's going to get himself a 3rd. So here we go with a 30. And the 4th ball for Sonny Wayne is going to be a bad ball 8. That is going to be an 8 for Sonny Wayne. And let's see if he can pick up the spare here. And it is a normal and a 5 on the 8 column, and yes, indeed, he does. So that leaves the door open for the Hubster. If he can get a strike here, and he will with a 3. So that'll put him right back into things a little bit. Let's see how he does on the 5th. It is a normal ball 12. That is another strike. So here comes Sonny Wayne on frame number 5. It is a good ball 20, but that is only going to be for a 9. So let's see if he can pick up the spare here. It's a 13 on an exceptional ball, and that is an easy pickup for Sonny Wayne. So we have 97 and a spare, and then 55 and a strike. And so here's Sonny Wayne with his ball in frame 6. It is a 17. That is going to be an 8. So we will go to the 8 column for this one. And we had a 13. That is going to be a spare. And back to Hub Reif Snyder. in frame number 6. It's going to be a 13, and that is going to be another strike. So 3 strikes in a row for Hub. Let's see if we can make it 4 here in frame number 7. And it is a normal ball 3, and yes, indeed, the Hubster gets another one to pull even. Here's Sonny Wayne in his 7th frame. It is an 18. Again, he is going to get an 8. So with that in mind, we'll go to our 8 column again, and it's going to be a normal and 10. He's going to pick up the spare. Sonny Wayne, frame number 8. And he's going to get a 19 this time. That is going to be a 7 plus. Sonny Wayne falling apart a little bit here. So let's see what this is going to do. Oh, exceptional ball, 18, easy spare for Sonny Wayne. And now Hub Reifsnyder, 4-frame strike streak here, and we have yet another strike, as that is a 6. And so let's see what he gets in frame number 9. And it's going to be a 5 on a normal roll. That's going to be another strike. And now we'll go to Sonny Wayne and his 9th frame. And it's going to be an exceptional ball 6. That's going to be a strike for Sonny Wayne. And so now, let's see how Sonny Wayne does in the 10th. 13 on a normal ball. That's going to be another strike. So 2 more chances here for Sonny Wayne to get his score up. Oop, it's going to be a bad ball, 19, and we're going to go to our first Y roll of the final round. Let's see how that's going to result. It's a 13, so that's going to be a 6 plus. So we'll go to our 6 plus chart, and Sonny Wayne is an A spare rating. So can he make the spare here to close his out? It's going to be 11 on a normal. Yes, he will. He will get the spare. And he's going to finish with a 216. Let's see what Reifsnyder will do with his 10th frame. He's going to start it off with a strike. That's going to bring him up to 205, and it's pretty academic at this point that he is going to win and move on here. It's a bad ball 3 for the second roll, and that's going to be a 9. And so let's see if he will get the spare here to close things out. Bad ball 14, still enough for the spare. And there you have it. So Hub Reifsnyder will move on in our opening contest here by the score of 254 to 216. So the Hubster will move on to face Bill Coral, and we will have that match coming up next. You are watching the Keystone State Invitational right here on Imagisport.
So the Hubster comes through, defeating Sonny Wayne in our first game, and he moves on now to game number 2. So let's take a close look at his opponent for this matchup, and that is going to be our number 3 finalist, Bill Coral, hailing from Tampa, Florida. Bill came in through qualifying as the number 12 seed. He defeated number 5 seed Don Rhoda in 3 games in the opening round. He lost the first one by 4 pins, 226 to 222, but then he won the next 2 as Don Rhoda could not get on track. The second game was 228 to 191, and then Coral won the deciding game 220 to 184. Then in the second round, he took on Sonny Wayne and defeated Sonny Wayne in straight games, 240 to 200 and 226 to 204. So once again, here we are. Coral, by the way, his average going in, 221.8. So that's Bill Coral. He's getting ready. He's finished his warm-up tosses. So has the Hubster. So we're ready for match number 2. Let's go down to the lanes and get to it.
All right, so now we are set with match number 2. Bill Coral, hailing from Tampa, Florida, coming in here with a 221.8 average through this tournament. And so he's going to be taking on Hub Reifsnyder, the winner of our last matchup. So Coral is going to start us off here in match number 2 with an 8 on a normal ball. He is going to strike right away. And now Reifsnyder with his first ball is going to be exceptional and an 18, so that is going to be a strike as well. So the Hubster now on frame number 2. It is a normal ball 4, so he is going to strike again. And now Bill Coral with his first ball, the second frame. It is an 11, and he will match. He will also have a strike. Frame number 3. Bill Coral with a 9. That is a third strike. Let's see if the Hubster can match it here. Third frame for him is going to be exceptional and 17, and yes, he does. So far, we have had all strikes in this matchup. Here's the Hubster on frame number 4. It is a 1 on a normal ball, so once again, another strike for Reifsnyder. Here's Bill Coral with his first ball in the 4th, and he's going to get a strike as well. On to frame number 5. Neither bowler having a miss yet in this game, and once again, Bill Coral is going to have himself a strike here. We'll see if Reifsnyder can match it. Normal ball 11. Yes, he does. It is another strike. On to frame number 6. And it is a normal ball and a 9. And once again, the Hubster with the strike. Here's Bill Coral and his 6th frame. Normal ball in 1. And yes, once again, he is going to match. Here's frame 7. Bad ball 19, and we have a Y result coming. So no perfect game here for Bill Coral. Let's see what it's going to end up. It's a 61, so it's going to be a 5-. So let's go to our 5- chart. Bill Coral is a AA on the spare rating. And let's see what he's going to get here. It's going to be normal ball and 1 on the AA. He's going to pick up that spare. But that opens the door for Hub Reifsnyder to kind of pull away a little bit. Let's see what he gets on frame 7. Exceptional ball and 5. No problem there. He strikes. So on to frame number 8. Here's Reifsnyder with a 15, and this is going to be his first blemish as he rolls a 9 on this one. So let's see if he can pick up the spare here. Ooh, I'm not sure about that. Bad ball in 20, and nope, he is going to miss and get an open frame. Wow. An open frame for Reifsnyder. And now that leaves the door open for Coral to take control here. And so he has an 11 on a normal ball. That is a strike for Bill Coral. And then let's see what he gets in frame number 9. Normal and 11. That is going to be a strike as well. Here comes Reif-Snyder with a 16 this time. That's going to be another 9. See if he can pick up the spare this time. Yep, he's going to get that spare rather easily. And so on to the 10th we go here. And Hub's going to need a pretty big 10th frame in order to stay alive here. He starts off well with a good ball 14. That is going to be a strike. And then we have a 20 on the next one. That is going to be a 7+. So let's see if he can get the spare there. He has a 14 on a normal roll, and that's going to be enough for the spare. So he finishes with a 247, although I don't think that's going to be enough to get past Bill Coral. Let's see. First roll is going to be a 2. That is going to be a strike here. And the next one is also going to be a strike. And so, again, pretty academic at this point. Last roll for Coral is going to be 1 more strike. And so Bill Coral is going to move on in our tournament here. And he's going to take on our second seed, Marv Rosenthal. The final score in this second match, Bill Coral over Hub Reif-Snyder by the score of 275 to 247. And we'll be back with our next match in this final round right after this timeout.
So the Hubsters' ride in the KSI is over as Bill Coral rolls a tremendous game in order to move on into the tournament. Let's go ahead and take a close look at his opponent. The number 2 finalist coming in, that is Marv Rosenthal from Carmel, California. Marv came in as the number 9 seed in the tournament through qualifying. He swept number 8 Frankie Diaz in the first round, 216 to 193, and then 210 to 208 in the second. Then in the second round, he swept Trent Conrad, who was the 16th seed, upsetting Vince Stremick, who was the highest overall in qualifying. Rosenthal's scores in the second round over Conrad were 227 to 205 in the first game and 223 to 193 in the second. So Rosenthal's average through the tournament so far, 222.1. So we have Marv Rosenthal and Bill Coral getting ready to knock down some pins here in our next to last match of our final round. So let's head down to the lanes and get started with that.
All right, so Marv Rosenthal and Bill Coral ready to knock down the pins here in our third match in the final round of the Keystone State Invitational. Rosenthal coming in with a 222.1 average throughout this tournament. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Here's Rosenthal's first ball in the first frame, and it is a strike to lead things off. And now here comes Bill Coral. And he's going to have a 20 on his. That is going to be a 7+. So we'll see if Coral can pick up the spare here. It is a 17 on a normal ball. That is enough to get the spare. So now, Bill Coral on to frame number 2. Exceptional ball and 4. That is going to be a strike. Here's Marv Rosenthal back up with his second frame. It is an 11 on the normal roll. He is going to strike as well. On to frame number 3. And Rosenthal this time is going to have a 10, and that is going to be another strike on his card. He is perfect so far. Bill Coral with his third frame is a bad ball 12. That's going to be another 7 for Bill Coral. And this time it's going to be a straight up 7. So we'll see there. No worries though, because he gets both the good ball and the number 1. He's going to get a spare on that frame. So onward to frame number 4. Bill Coral with his ball. He rolls an 11. That's going to be good enough for a strike here. And now we go to Rosenthal with his ball in the 4th. It's going to be a 5. That's going to be another strike. And onward now to frame number 5. This time Rosenthal gets a 3 on the normal column, so yet another strike for Marv Rosenthal. Here's Bill Coral with his 5th frame. It is a 3. He gets a strike as well. On to the 6th we go. Here's Bill Coral and his ball, and it is going to be a 2. And so that's going to be yet another strike for Coral. And on we now go to Rosenthal, who is perfect so far in this match. And as soon as I say it, he rolls a 16, which is an 8+. So there goes his perfect game. So now we'll go to the 8+ column for his next ball here, and that is an 11. No problem picking up the spare on that one. On to frame number 7. Here's Rosenthal, and he gets another 18. So another 8 for Marv Rosenthal there. This time it's just the normal 8 column. So roll a 1, that's going to be a spare. Now to Bill Coral for his 7th frame. And we have a 5. That's good enough for a strike. And now we go to frame number 8. Here's Coral's ball. He gets a 1. Again, that is a strike. And now we go to Marv Rosenthal. Let's see if he can match it. He needs some strikes here. And no, he gets another 16. And so that is going to be an 8+. So 3 straight frames opening up with 8s for Marv Rosenthal. And again, that's going to open up for Coral to potentially advance into the championship match here. It is an 8+, so we will refer to that column for his second ball. He gets an 8 there, no problem picking up the spare. On to frame number 9. Let's see what Marv rolls this time. It is going to be a 9 on a normal roll, and that's going to be another strike. Here comes Bill Coral with his 9th frame. Oh no, it's a bad ball and an 18. So another Y result for Bill Coral. And let's see what we got here. It's a 16, so it's going to be a 6. Not too terrible. But let's go ahead and go to our 6 chart. And Coral is a AA spare rating. So let's see what we have here. It's going to be an exceptional ball and a 5, an easy spare for Bill Coral. And now Coral with his 10th frame. Let's see what he does here. It's a bad ball too, but again, just enough for a strike. And another 2, so another strike there. And let's see what he gets on his final ball of this match. Once again, it is going to be a strike, and that is going to finish him off at 246. Has Rosenthal done enough that he can go ahead and he can overcome him? I don't think he can, because I don't know. It's going to be tough. He's pretty much going to have to strike out here. Let's see what happens. So he gets a 12 on the first one. That is a strike. And he's definitely going to need a strike on this second one as well. Otherwise, Coral is going to advance. And he gets a 3. So yes, he does get another strike here. So now it all comes down to this roll. So basically anything higher than a 2, and he will move on. And it is a 5. That is a strike. And so with that, Wayne Rosenthal comes up big in this semifinal match. He wins by the score of 254 to 246. And now he is set to take on Barry Peccatello in the championship match to see who's going to win the Keystone State Invitational. We'll be right back with that championship match right after this timeout.
So an outstanding matchup we had there in our semifinal. It's tough that one of them had to bow out and lose, but that's the way it goes in bowling sometimes. So congratulations to Marv Rosenthal as he moves on into our final match of the day to determine who's going to win the Keystone State Invitational. So let's take a look at our number one finalist, and that is Barry Peccatello from Providence, Rhode Island. Barry had kind of an easy going of it through the playoff rounds. He was seeded 11th going into the qualifying. He defeated Ralph McNamara in straight games, 254 to 220 and 243 to 215. Then Peccatello was set to take on Wayne Rasso in the second round. But as you may have seen, if you are in the Play Games community on Facebook, I posted this a couple weeks ago, that on the very first ball that Wayne Rasso rolled, he got an unusual result. That unusual result turned into a rare result, and that rare result ended up being that Rasso got disqualified from the tournament for an undisclosed reason. So Barry Peccatello had a free pass into the championship round, and his average of 223.9 was high enough to place him at number one. So we'll see if a rested Barry Peccatello will have an advantage over Marv Rosenthal in this matchup. So let's not wait any longer. Let's go down to the lanes for our championship match.
All right, so this is the match you've been waiting for. It's for all the marbles. Barry Peccatello from Providence, Rhode Island, coming in with a 223.9 average throughout the tournament, the number one seed. And the benefit of being rested, not only because of being the number one seed, but the fact that he didn't have to bowl any matches in the second round due to Wayne Rasso getting disqualified. And then we have Marv Rosenthal, who, of course, won our previous match over Bill Coral to qualify for this championship. So here we go, Peccatello and Rosenthal. Here is Barry rolling first, and he gets a bad ball, but it is a 1 on the D20, and that's going to be good enough for a strike. Here's Marv Rosenthal with his first ball of the final, and he gets the same exact roll, bad ball 1, and he's going to strike as well. Here's Rosenthal for frame number 2. It is a 6, and that is also going to be a strike. Here's Barry Peccatello, and he gets a 19. It is a 7+. So with that, we'll go to the 7+ column. Let's see if you can pick up the spare here. It is an 11, no problem. And we have a spare. On to frame 3 for Peccatello. And it is a great ball 7. That is going to be an easy strike. Here's Marv Rosenthal with his frame 3 roll, and he gets a 19. That is going to be a 7+ for him. So let's see if he'll pick up the spare here. 14 on an exceptional roll. That's going to be a spare. So we have 47 working on a spare for Rosenthal, 40 working on a strike for Peccatello. Here's Rosenthal in the 4th, and he picks up a strike. Now over to Peccatello. Let's see if he can match that effort. It's a 19, so again, he is going to get a 7+ here. So again, he's going to have to pick up this spare. Let's see what happens on the 7+. It's a 2, no problem. It's a spare. On to frame number 5. Pecatello will roll first, and again, it's going to be a 19. So that's going to be another 7+. And this time it's going to be a 15 on the normal column. Again, that's enough for a spare. Here's Rosenthal with his 5th frame. It's a 1. It's an easy strike for him, and much needed as well. Here's Rosenthal in the 6th. And again, he gets another strike. Pecatello's going to have to roll some strikes himself if he wishes to stay in this match. But again, he gets another 19, another 7. That's his 3rd straight. And that might be the nail in the coffin for him in this championship. Let's see if he picks up the spare here. Oh, no. It's a bad ball. It's an 18 on the 7+. He only knocks down 2 pins. It's an open frame. And that might have just knocked him out of contention here. Let's see how he does in frame 7. He recovers in frame 7 to get a strike. But if Rosenthal could keep it up, it might not matter here. Here's Marv's 7th roll, and then sure enough, good ball 13. It's a strike for him, and he jumps into the lead. Let's see if he can keep it going in frame number 8. Yep, normal ball 4, another strike for Marv Rosenthal. And now he is definitely pulling away here. Can Barry Pecatello match that? It's a exceptional ball 20, not a strike though, only a 9. And he needed a strike to even have any hope of catching up here. He's going to pick up the easy spare. And we move on to frame number 9. Let's see what he gets there. It is going to be a 10 on a normal roll. He will strike. And Marv Rosenthal. Let's see if he can get his hot streak going here. Bad ball 11. Not going to be a strike. It's going to be a 7. So it's going to be a straight up 7 column. But he's still in a comfortable lead here. And it is a normal ball 7 on the spare roll. So that's going to be a spare for Rosenthal. And that's going to set him up in a very comfortable lead here in the 10th frame. So it may be just a formality at this point here. His first roll in the 10th frame is going to be a strike. So he'll get 2 more to further pad the score along. The second roll is a 20. That is going to be a 7. And his final roll here, that is a 7 on an exceptional ball, enough for a spare. And that's going to finish him off with a 244, over 100 points. So he's going to go on and win the Keystone State Invitational. Let's see how Pecatello does in his final frame. He starts off with a 15. That is going to be just a 9 there. So we'll see if he'll pick up the spare on that. And it is a 15 on a normal roll. Yes, he does pick up the spare. So 1 more ball for him. And that is going to be an 18 on an exceptional. That is a strike, but it's too little, too late. And so our final score in this championship match, Wayne Rosenthal wins the 2021 Keystone State Invitational. He defeats Barry Pecatello in the championship by the score of 244 to 183. Let's go back to the studio for a wrap-up of today's final round.
And that open frame in the 6 was too much for Barry Pecatello to overcome. That, along with the 5 straight strikes from Marv Rosenthal. And so Rosenthal ends up being your winner of the Keystone State Invitational today. Again, a little bit about Bowl-O-Rama. Personally, I never thought I would own a bowling game whenever I discovered PLAAY.com. But a couple years ago, I was kind of looking for a game that I could play with family members, especially my soon-to-be 16-year-old daughter, who loves playing board games in general, like I do. Tried a couple of the play games, and that didn't seem to pan out. But then I gave Bowl-O-Rama a shot, and she really liked that, especially when we downloaded the 2019 celebrity cards that Keith Avalone designed a couple years ago, and makes that experience pretty fun for us, especially when she picks Ed Sheeran and I pick somebody who's not as good, so that way she can win. But that's another story for another day. Bowl-O-Rama is currently available at the PLAAY.com website. You can go to PLAAY.com or PLAYClassic.com in order to purchase that game. Keep in mind, PLAY is spelled with 2 A's. Next up on the channel, most likely is going to be the next installment of the Old School Wrestling series. I do have the matches that I want to do for that. Just need to find some time to roll them out, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'll be able to get that up on the channel. So that's about it for the Imagine Sports Showcase today. Marv Rosenthal is your winner of the 2021 Keystone State Invitational with a 244 to 183 victory over Barry Pectello. From all of us here at Imagine Sport, this is Derek Jones saying thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Do your part to stop the COVID spread. And most of all, keep on rolling. We'll see you later.